really to see this wonderful exhibit and meet some of the artists who are here tonight. But first we want to just thank a few people. We want to thank you first of all for coming. And I hope that you take this opportunity to educate yourself about the artwork and through the artwork and be inspired by the artwork towards some new actions. That's really why we're here. The other reason that we're here is we want to celebrate our youth tonight. And we have a special scholarship committee, and you're going to hear more about that throughout the evening. And as Dr. Pearson said, we want you to continue to support the work of PSR. So you'll see little envelopes around, or you can buy a copy of the Particles on the Wall. That will be a donation. Actually, you'll get a book, and you'll be making a donation directly to Oregon PSR. It is so appropriate that we are here in the Billy Frank conference room. And Billy Frank was a tribal leader, and he really stood up. He was a visionary for the cause of Native Americans and stood up to protect the Columbia River. So we're happy to be here and working with Eco Trust tonight. We'd also like to thank major sponsors, because an exhibit like this cannot happen unless we have this kind of sponsorship. The Greenfield Peace Writing Scholarship underwriter is the Magic Pebble Foundation. I don't believe that they're represented here tonight, but the following people I'm hoping are here tonight. We'd like to thank the Environmental Champion sponsors, Bonnie Reagan, Dr. Bonnie Reagan, Dr. Peter Reagan. Are they here?
Bonnie's
they're waiting. There they are. Thank you so much for your continued sponsorship. The peace sponsors are Susan Katz and Dr. John Pearson again, and Nina Pearson and Dr. Francis Storr. So, raise your hand, those sponsors. Thank you so much. And the Peace Patron sponsor is Dr. Martin Donahue. Is Dr. Donahue? Thank you. There you are. Thank you so much. Special thank you to all those sponsors. And again, you know, as we're here to see the exhibit, this could not have happened with a whole lot of people working really, really hard. But because this exhibit is brought and started by the Washington PSR, we're so excited to greet them and then have some Oregon artists join this exhibit tonight. So we want to especially thank Diane and Nancy Dickman. They're raising their hands over there. They are here from Washington, as is Stephen Gilbert, the curator of the exhibit, and the Particles on the Wall staff, Misty Nickel and Daniel Noonan. Are you guys here? Raise your hands, you guys. Good to see you. Thank you. And, you know, I got a long list today of all the artists, and so I'm not really going to say all their names, but you're going to get a chance to meet them because they're going to be standing by their artwork after the program. So if you are an artist, I believe you have a special name tag, but could you just like raise your hand here, because those artists, poets and visual artists, have come from Washington, all over Washington. I believe there's someone from Oakland. So we you and our Oregon artists as well. So you'll get a chance to really meet them directly. I have the wonderful opportunity to introduce a man who's responsible for really all this evening tonight. And I don't know all the inspiring stories, but I'm sure he's going to share them with you. So Stephen Gilbert is the president of the board of the Washington Physicians for Social Responsibility, and he's also a board member of the National PSR. He's a toxicologist with extensive research in neurology and the effects of the environmental toxins. So you might have noticed on the program, his organization, NND, is one of the main sponsors for this event tonight. And he's developed and maintained extensive websites, and I think what's really amazing about this, you know, some people would say, well, these are my websites and I did this, but he just wants to share it with the world. So it's all accessible, all the information about Hanford and about the exhibit. The book is online, you can access that, but we'd like to invite tonight is through donation will go to Oregon Peace Army. And he's the co-founder and one of the curators of Particles on the Wall. And you are also one of the judges for our peace writing contest this year. Thank you so much, Steve Gilbert.
Thank you very much for that nice introduction. It's really a thrill to be here. It's very exciting. It's the first time Particles on the Wall has been outside of Washington State. So I just want to thank you all for doing this. So I just wanted to say just a couple words. I know we have a quick program here. And again, I want to thank Nancy and Diane Hickman, who are co-curators, and a little bit about how we started Particles on the Wall. It actually started over happy hour. Honestly, God, that's where it started with Bill Withrow, I, and Nancy and Diane. And Bill's stuff is down on the wall down there. Unfortunately, he passed away. He was really noted Northwest poet. And both Nancy, Diane, and Bill grew up in the Richland area. So part of our efforts was to bring out stories about Hanford, what happened there, what happened in Richland. So we really worked to, and one of our things that we're happy about was, what are the arts? How can the arts and science seem to just drift apart? So our effort was trying to bring the arts and sciences together to tell a complex story, to create conversation about the issues associated with complex issues like Hanford. Hanford is enormously complex. How many people have been to Hanford, taken a tour? Wow, that's fantastic. How many people have seen the B reactor? Yeah, it's pretty amazing to go out there and see that stuff. So we want to talk about that, within the exhibit. Look at the B reactor that created the plutonium that destroyed Nagasaki. And one of the things that we had with the exhibit and the grant, we have somebody that comes from the Department of Ecology, the Washington State Department of Ecology, is that we wanted to have a project that could look at the worldwide implications of Hanford. We're all in the Northwest here, and we're all connected together by the Columbia River. But what are the worldwide implications of Hanford? So we looked at what happened in Nagasaki. Where did the uranium come from? Who suffered from the uranium mining? What other places? Where did all the plutonium go? Much of it went to the Marshall Islands, and Marshallese were devastated when nuclear bombs were tested on their islands. Where else was this tested? It was tested outside Las Vegas. How many been to a Las Vegas testing site? Yeah, it's pretty impressive to go see that. How many people in Las Vegas? The next time you go to Las Vegas, take time to the gambling table and go to the Nuclear Testing Museum. It's a wide opening, it's an amazing experience. So that's what we tried to do with Particles on the Wall, is try to create a conversation. It's been shown about 9 times in Washington State, and each time we show it, the exhibit's a little bit different. We bring in local artists, and I just want to call out a couple of the artists just by name, just to recognize them. Rebecca Bowens, Tom Buchanan, Gail Grinnell, Anna Dialvis, Carrie Davis, Scott Starbuck, Leah Stenson, Laura Hebert, and Judith Bushnell. So those are just a few of the artists I know about. The artists are the ones that really make this happen. They're the ones that put their heart and soul in. So please talk to them and think, both from your head, looking at the science, how the science informed the art. But some of the art is really much more richer when you understand the science. And how does the art inform the science? What's behind the science? What did we do with understanding the atomic structure of atoms, and how did we translate that into creating plutonium and destroying parts of the world? We're still dealing with the nuclear legacy. And just a final note on that, Bremerton, everybody familiar with Bremerton? Not too far away from here, largest concentration of nuclear weapons in the world. The Trident submarines flow in and out of that site. So we still have an enormous connection here, and as John mentioned, we have a nuclear power plant not too far away in Hanford also that continues to generate nuclear waste. So with those few remarks, I will leave it there. I think we're next.
Thank you so
very
much.
Yeah, it's really great.
Thank you. I just want to tell this really quick story because I heard it as we were having a planning meeting. The Peace Working Group, by the way, Peace Working Group, thank you so much for all your work to put this all together, to host it, and to get the food, and to do all that. So, members of the Peace Working Group, wave. There they are. Thank you. So, on a bus ride back from Gaza, Maxine and Steve had a conversation. Understand? And you were telling her about this wonderful exhibit, and you just left Gaza with all this amazing information that you gleaned there. And that's where this all happened, on a bus in Gaza. This idea to bring particles on the wall. How appropriate. Maxine.
Thank you. Well, I want to just take a second and have all of the student winners of the Dell Greenfield Peace Writing Contest come forward, because that's the next part. I think that's really fun. This part of the program is to recognize the voice of the youth. And Casey, would you read for us?
All right. Well, first off, I've read some of the poetry around, and mine's definitely not as emotional as that, but it's still a little bit hot and good, so I feel like it. I live 395 miles from here for a nuclear power plant, but until now, I knew little about it. It's there, just like trees in my yard, the sun in the sky, the freckle on my nose. In fact, it is so there that it seems that most people ignore it, skimming casually over the news articles or ignoring the plan outline on how to handle that cancer problem. Infrequent news articles give assurance that contaminated nuclear material leaking into the ground is not really something to be concerned about, and that plans are underway to take care of it. So we go about our day-to-day lives, overwhelmed with bills, kids, bald tires, and colds. But hampers will never go away. The 53 million gallons of highly dangerous nuclear waste left from a time of complete idiocy will haunt the entire planet forever. The containers holding the waste are leaking, but never mind that. Plans are now on tap to convert the contaminated waste into glass-like logs, a process called vitrification. Oh, there we go. The facility where the process will take place has already cost $12 billion, yet is still not up and running. Is this really the answer? One problem with Hanford is its immensity. With 177 underground tanks located on 560 square miles, the reservation is vast. Increasing issues with tank leakage have officials concerned, and with good cause. Just where are those mysterious 150 to 300 gallons of waste they're disappearing from only one of the tanks going? It's a good thing these pesky leaks tanks are a whole 5 miles from the Columbia River, where millions of fish swim, people play, and farmers pump water to irrigate our food crops. Should the waste at Hanford be a concern to us? You bet it should. To start with, we should understand the nature of nuclear waste and how it functions. Some of the waste contained in the Hanford tanks include uranium-235 and 238, plutonium-238, 239, 240, and 241. These are just a few. Some of these elements occur naturally in our environment, and some are the byproducts of nuclear fission. No matter where they come from, they all negatively affect the health of living organisms. These elements are absorbed by both soft body tissues and bones, where they can be stored for the remainder of our lives. Strontium-90 seeks bone tissue, and our bodies mistake it for calcium, welcoming this toxin where it creates health problems. Thorium, plutonium, and uranium also become concentrated in the bones, teeth, and soft tissues, causing various types of cancers. Secondly, the longevity of these elements and the difficulty of simply monitoring them is a budget breaker for our society. Estimated cost for cleanup is in the multi-billions of dollars, and the job more than likely be never completed. Health programs are scuttled, educational plans garaged, and job creation delayed because of the financial drain on our nation's budget. Is this what we want for our future? Everyone agrees something needs to be done, but the solution isn't easy to come to. Lastly, while some may believe vitrification is the holy grail we have been searching for, it is important to remember we once thought the same of Hanford itself. There are concerns about the process, such as how to store the vitrified products. Vitrified nuclear waste is still radioactive and must be transported and stored with this in mind. The current options include burying in the ground or deep on the sea floor. However, it is easy to see that this only transfers the problem to a place that is even more unseen by the general population. Hanford's existence needs to be the concern of all of our planet's inhabitants because it currently affects everyone, with the potential for even more serious consequences down the road. No one is immune. There is no vaccine or hiding place to protect us from its damages. Our food sources, our air, and our water are all at risk for contamination, and this should scare us into careful consideration prior to any action being taken. This should also cause us to pause and seriously ponder the intelligence of considering any process in the future that produces such toxic byproducts when we have no comprehensive plan to dispose of the waste. Thank you.
Thanks, Tazy. Tazy's essay is titled, Why Hanford Nuclear Reservation Should Be of Concern to Us. And I want to mention, before we talk about the writing contest, that the winning poems and essays are all in your program. So please, later on, take a chance to read it. It's really wonderful. So this is the chance to honor the winners of the Dell Greenfield Peace Writing Contest. And I'm so honored to have been one of the judges. I think this contest is a really important and wonderful bridge. All too often, I think, we forget our history, and this contest gives us a chance to bridge history with our current times. And what makes the bridge is the person that this contest was named for, Dell Greenfield, who was Oregon PSR's first executive director, a lifelong champion of peace and justice, and someone to whom we all owe an amazing debt of gratitude for her work and her legacy. And it was her idea that birthed this contest to say, let's listen to the voice of youth. And it started there in the 80s, lapsed for a number of years, and then this year's contest is the 5th consecutive year of the writing contest. So I think we want to honor Dell. I also want to honor the other piece of the bridge is that her family, Bonnie Reagan is here, the Magic Pebble Foundation, her other daughter, and the Family Foundation has enabled us just so generously to continue this contest and award these scholarships. So thank you to Dell and Dell. So the announcements for the writing contest every year go out to all Oregon high schools. Juniors and seniors throughout the state are eligible to submit. And I also just want to give a shout out. I don't know if any of the teachers or mentors or people who promoted their students to submit writing, just raise your hand if you're here, if you talk this up at all to youth, because you advocates for youth are just great. So Giselle, I know. There's so many people. So thank you to those of you who teach our students to think critically about these kind of complex issues. So every year the students get a prompt, and this year's prompt I'll read to you. And it was in conjunction with bringing particles on the wall and thinking about Hanford. The prompt was, the Hanford Nuclear Reservation on the Columbia River was a major nuclear weapons production facility. It is where the plutonium was developed for the atomic bomb dropped on Nagasaki, and it is now considered the most toxic site in the Western Hemisphere. Why does Hanford matter? We had 58 entries from around the state, so there was good competition. And I want to say, I think, speaking on behalf of all the judges, we were really impressed by the writing. We got variety, we got creativity, we got science, we got poetry, we got narrative essays. It was really a hard act to judge. The 4 top winners, the first 4 prizes are awarded a financial scholarship, and then everybody gets a certificate to recognize their really inspiring work. So before we recognize our youth winners, I want to introduce the judges. I think there's just 2 of us here. Tim, are you here? Well, Tim, I'll just read them. And then, Tim Gillespie was one of the judges. Tim's an award-winning high school English teacher. Many years has taught in Portland Public Schools and is the former co-director of the Oregon Writing Project. So an excellent writer himself and wonderful on the technical skills, was great to help. Steve Gilbert, you've already met. Steve's going to come up in a minute and help give the awards out. Toxicologist, scientist, argued for the science in the submissions. Jim Mayer, not able to be here tonight, is a Portland Public School English teacher and himself a writer and a writing coach. And Maria Medina is a writer, activist with American Friends Service Committee. So it was a great group of judges, and I was a judge also. Now the winners. We'll organize ourselves here for a second. So at the far end in the red shirt is Ayush Kumar. Ayush is a junior attending Oregon City High School. His interest, and I'm glad to meet you. So Ayush told me that he wrote his essay because he believes that Hanford symbolizes hope. And I think that was one of the voices we heard from the youth. We have another honorable mention who wasn't able to be here tonight, Kimberly Selle, who is a high school senior, also from Oregon City High School. So congratulations to Kimberly. Our 4th prize winner is Jocelyn Letzer. Jocelyn is a junior at Oregon City High School. She's interested in the arts and photography. And she told me that she wrote this essay initially because it was a class assignment. But when she started to write it, she realized how important it was and began researching and really felt compelled by it. Our 3rd prize winner is Jordan Oster. Jordan is a senior at Newport High School. He's into arts and drama and is about to start college and plans to be a high school Spanish teacher. Jordan's comment about why he wrote his essay was to remind people it's not just the losers in wars that commit atrocities. We heard from Tazy Savage at the beginning. Tazy's our 3rd prize winner. She wrote to shine a light on Hanford. Tazy comes from school. She's also a senior. She's planning to be a firefighter this summer and to study forestry at Oregon State University. And our first prize winner is Twyla Mountjoy Hay. Twyla is not able to be here with us tonight because besides being a fantastic writer, and you can read her poem in the program, she's a dancer. And she's dancing tonight, performing with the Jefferson Dancers. Who, and they are performing all weekend, actually, at the Newmark Theater, so we have a chance to go see them. So again, a really big round of applause for the students.
I just want to make one quick comment. I think it really is, the writing contest is very important because we're really looking toward future generations. We really have to ask ourselves, who is going to inherit answers? And it's going to be our kids, our grandchildren, my granddaughters over here. These are the people that are going to be dealing with answers in the future. And we really be thinking about that and make the investment now to clean it up.
So we wanted to go out of the student portion before we turn it back to Shisa with Jordan reading his poem.
Keen, pure interest flows through their veins, day and night. Unwavering application of physics and chemistry, 2 parts perspiration, 1 part dedication, would eventually, suddenly, discovery. Discovery of something magical and glorious and unknown. Wonder and intrigue exude constantly, more so than even the finest cinematic masterpiece or Grecian epic. War looms like a black flower, pungent and acrid. Human beings have still not learned to not kill other human beings. Pools of blood curdle and boil over. Our own atrocities are unceremoniously, unquestionably justified. They pale in comparison to theirs, we tell ourselves, day and night. Weapon. A weapon. The weapon. The weapon to end all weapons. The weapon to end all wars. Or, at least, this one. Explosion. Chaos ensues. Death pursues. Blood infused. Families confused. The angel of death forced to peruse for miles, searching for the souls lost and victims mutilated. Keen, pure interest flowed through their veins too, day and night. Unwavering application of life and family, 2 parts perspiration, 1 part dedication, when eventually, suddenly, keen, pure water flowed through its veins, lapped upon its shores, curving majestically, unwavering application of soil and birds until weapon, a weapon, the weapon, the weapon to end all weapons, mutilated, decimated, discriminated against this land, our refuge. Reminder. A reminder that what we do not only impacts each other, but the world around us. Our mistakes, our travesties, our crimes against humanity mutilate, decimate, discriminate.
Our concern live. Thank you so much. You guys get a picture. Hold your things up. Get a picture. Let's hear it again for our In just a few minutes, we're going to close this portion of the program and invite you to spend time meeting the artists and looking at the artwork and telling all of your friends and family to come back, because this is the opening of the exhibit. It's going to be going on until June 14th. And during that time, we're going to have several events coming up. Are you guys tired? Do you want to sit down? Do you want to eat? Do you want to eat? Are you doing pictures? What do you want to do? Okay. Yay! Well, I for one believe that art changes the world, and art and social change go hand in hand. So here on Tuesday, May 7th, there's a little flyer here, so I'm not going to tell you everything, but on May 7th, there's an event called Breeding Drinks that Eco Trust Building sponsors. On May 19th, all the artists who could not be here tonight will be back here. These are all evening events. You'll get a chance to talk to them more in depth. You'll get to hear more about their process of creating and how they went about being inspired by the Hanford situation. And then on June 12th, we're going to present a panel. And my friend, Pat Hoover, who left the room, darn. Anyway, there she is, she's sitting down. Pat Hoover and Susan came from Eugene to join us tonight, are going to be there speaking on the Atomic West. And she told me about the Atomic West is now a whole compilation of writing and testimonies and stories and anything that has to do with the Atomic West is being now housed at the University of Colorado. So you can talk to Pat about that a little bit more. It's a wonderful project, and we thought that was a wonderful name. So get some food, enjoy yourself, support PSR, meet our writers, and thank you so much for coming tonight. We will be going till 8 o'clock. Out in the hallway, please thank Peter Zisa, guitarist, and Yukiko Boson.
Okay. Good.